Hey everybody, and welcome to the Daily Scopes for the 16th of April. Okay, so on the 16th of April, the Sun makes a sextile to Neptune, so this energy can bring about unexpected insights into our spiritual growth and other life meanings. For some of you, you'll tap more into your intuition and psychic abilities, making it an excellent time for dream work and creative projects. But negatively, because of Neptune's influence here, people can be more escapists. Addictions can be higher, so escaping into drugs, alcohol, hookups and stuff like that. And the lines between fantasy and reality can be sort of like blurred. It can be hard for some of you to tell the difference, especially if you've got strong Neptune and Pisces, Cancer, or hard aspects to the moon, or, Neptune in your chart, or Scorpio as well. If you feel affected, you may not want to dive into the psychic realms if you can't stay grounded, and which is needed. The best use of this energy is to pay attention to your subconscious desires and needs. Write down any information from the psychic realms that you get, but know that when we are ungrounded, just like I don't want to say good and bad, but it's a universal term, just like the good and bad people in the material world, Earth, where we all live, there's also those types of energies in the psychic realm. So we have to be able to use critical thinking skills to sort of like discern what's good and what's bad. So if you feel like you are susceptible to falling into fantasy, or believing negative information, whether it's from a person on Earth or a person in the other realms, just be, I don't want to use the word skeptic, just watch out for red flags. But with the Sun's energy feeling our drive and Neptune's transcendental influence, we have the potential on the positive side to create something truly magical and transformative during this period if we stay grounded and be aware of the fact that this transit can cause confusion and a lack of clarity in our decision making. So just take that extra time to really think about, or get advice from someone else, or write anything that comes up right now in a book or voice note it, and then review it at a later date, rather than trying to rush through decisions and make a choice right now, because some of you may feel overwhelmed by your dream and fantasy life right now, which can drive us to make them impulsive decisions without a clear understanding of the consequences. So it's important to stay grounded and take time to think through important decisions. It's also recommended to avoid any activities or situations that can lead to confusion or misunderstanding during this transit. So, the best use of this energy is to stay alert, allow yourself to dream, tap into your imagination, but also, check any information that you get and just enjoy. Content creators can talk about the different aspects of the spiritual journey, the different aspects of the psychic realms, how critical thinking is so important, in not only in real life but on the spiritual journey, because of the tension in the psychic realms. And our guides and stuff typically give us information to guide us, and certain guides will only try and contact us in certain ways, so we have to be able to discern as we become more open on our spiritual journey, that sometimes, I've said this before, certain guides can only contact us at a certain level of our thinking because we're only open to them. The negative side is that a lot of them give us false information, sometimes tell us that we're the only ones that can save the world, and teachings like that. But as you journey on the personal development journey, you know that change is hard. Having information and knowledge is easy, but actually applying it to our daily lives to turn it into wisdom can be hard. So it's important to realise we can only change ourselves, and everybody will be given the chance to change and improve their sort of like their lives, and we can't force these. So teachings that typically say that, we're the only ones and you have to follow this way and that way, tend to be sort of like false, but, it's your journey. And so content creators can focus on, the pitfalls of psychic knowledge and information, how important it is to, learn trivium, sort of critical thinking methods. I've made a video about it on YouTube, and there's other videos about critical thinking and trivium methodology and how important it is in day-to-day life, as well as the spiritual life. Also talking about meditation techniques, mindfulness practices, how we can become more creative. So exploring different forms of poetry, talking about that, different forms of music and how that can help with emotional, spiritual and psychological sort of like healing as well. Any information that can help people tap into their inner creative potential and embrace their spiritual and creative side can do really well. Content that not only informs and entertains, but all content that inspires and uplifts your audience is good use during this transit. Also today, the moon enters its Balsamic Moon phase. If you want to know more about that, check out the playlist. Jupiter also makes a parallel to Chiron. So this means that Jupiter and Chiron are in a parallel declination, so it can appear to be on the same sort of like plane, but in reality one's on, for instance, on the north or on the south side, or on the east and west side, but sort of like creating that sort of conjunction energy. So again, this energy helps us with our healing and self-awareness, allowing us to process old wounds, both physical, emotional, psychological and spiritual wounds. Chiron is known as the wounded healer in astrology and is associated with healing, wisdom, and encourages us always to go within ourselves to find out what needs healing and doing it. On the negative end, it can bring up old wounds and make us more vulnerable, so more open to be manipulated and stuff like that, like I was talking about earlier. So just be careful with that in the conjunction with the sunset star Neptune energy that's also out there today. So this energy of Jupiter and Chiron can force us to deal with the wounds that we have repressed or try and run away with our habits, addictions. So we may be forced, if we don't heed the inward call, we may be forced by outside forces to go within and start that healing. But all in all, it's an opportunity for growth and transformation today. And by facing our vulnerabilities and addressing unresolved issues, whether within ourselves or our relationships, we pave the way for healing and growth. So it's best to approach the next week with self-care and compassion, and seek out support if needed, and take the slow and steady steps to confront your past traumas and emotional wounds with the intention of healing them. And doing this, you can gain valuable wisdom and awareness that can be used for your ongoing self-healing and personal transformation journey. So yeah, that was the daily scope for the 16th of April.